He's just not at the races at the moment.
Another look at it.
He pulled straight up there, Jim, didn't he?
That's never a good sign when you see early movement. I mean, you watch Darren after he executes a stroke, and then watch Mark Selby. Double into the top right corner.
And what we haven't noticed so far in this match is Darren's been sticking his tongue out. So he obviously isn't in the groove, because that must be something he does when he feels like he's playing well. It's a gurning competition at the moment, I think, though, because they're both pulling loads of facial expressions. But Mark did get a good cue ball there. But Darren just needs one good pot. One good pot, he wins the frame. Yellow in the top right hand corner.
No, that's a decent shot there.
Yeah, he's played a defensive shot. He never meant to attempt the pot there. Just hide the cue ball.
Not tap the swing.
I think he's just had a little jest with our referee, Jason Davis, because obviously Jason hasn't given the total, but Mark's not convinced.
30 seconds.
No prizes for guessing which one of these two is enjoying this final. And I think that's always the secret to being successful.
Where's the 8 ball?
And that puts a little pressure. That makes the cheese a little more binding.
Yeah, and Darren will be hoping that Mark Selby's red in the top right-hand corner doesn't pass the yellow. And he knows he can play the shot with a little bit of safety. But really, he needs to go out for it all guns blazing and make this ball and try and take some control.
Seconds.
So I think Darren's winding himself up for a big shot. It's a good cue ball though, or has he left it?
Well, for what it's worth, Lee, he can see the long red, but to get position to that difficult one, well, oh, you can see this one. Well,
it's close.
Unbelievable shot.
Darren can't believe he's lost another frame like he's lost 2 or 3 in this final so far.
Too many negative shots. Just a phenomenal pot, though, from Mark Selby. Can't say enough about that shot. And the simplest of 8s to punctuate yet another victory. 5-2, the Selby train motors on.
Yeah, the train has definitely come out of the station for Selby, and he's on a roll at the moment. And I have to wonder now, has Darren lost his head a little bit? It may be a bit dramatic to say that, but just his body language.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks that way. I mean, you know, he looks out of sorts completely. He's making mistakes, and then Mark's giving him chances back, and he's just not securing the frames. He's leaving Mark chances to develop his balls, get himself back into the frames, you know, whether it's potting a ball off 3 cushions or, you know, leaving him on his bad ball as he did there.
You're a world champion. You've seen him play this sort of stuff before, but Mark Selby's bringing kind of a new aspect to the game. He's really showing some excellent shots.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, as he mentioned in commentary, he is a great cueist, you know, from his snooker background. So if Darren keeps leaving him, you know, lets him see his balls when he's made a mistake, he's going to knock him in. Let's take a look at Darren's shots. Here's one of them. This is the mistake that basically led to, obviously, Mark clearing up. And now we see Mark. Great shot choice. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, what Darren is doing is he's moving on his shots, you know, and the more you feel the pressure, you know, he's moving on his shots, and he does get difficult out there, you know, he just doesn't look to be with it, and like I say, Mark just keeps capitalising on his mistakes, really.
He's got that air of a real cool hand Luke when it comes to, you know, he's just not having any pressure on him, and he looks relaxed now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he definitely looks cool. You know, he looks 10 times cooler than Darren. Like I said, Darren looks really, really pumped up for it, and you know, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's getting to Darren.
Well, a very relaxed-looking Mark Selby at the moment, the man from Leicester, trying to get his first world title in 8-ball pool. As we've said before, he's ranked 28th in the world in snooker. He's been against the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins, and now he's got Darren Appleton. Quite a different kettle of fish. The man from Yorkshire is so hungry, but is he too hungry? We're about to find out. Let's join our commentary team again.
Mark Selby at 5-2, and with the break to come, frame number 8, some, well, absolutely unbelievable shot making. And the cue ball, well, here's a chance for Appleton. That cue ball kicked right into that corner pocket, so
one visit, open table.
If nothing else, Appleton with the first shout. But watch that cue ball get kicked in, right there by the red.
Red ball's in play. Timeout.
Immediately from this, in this frame, Darren looks like he's got himself in trouble again. He's not happy with that shot he's played, whether he's felt he's had a bad contact. He's had certainly had the cue ball cleaned.
Yeah, I'd be looking to screw the cue ball back into the red and the yellow. He's disturbed it, but just nothing's going right at the moment for Darren. He's just making hard work. When you see Mark at the table, everything seems to be silky, smooth, no problems. Darren just seems to be just not at the races at the moment. It's a total contrast to all Darren's matches where all his opponents haven't turned up, and at the moment it's Darren that's not turned up.
Well, we said at the outset, though, that he would have to raise his game against Selby, and he clearly hasn't done that. His other opponents, you know, almost, you know, pushed him over the finish line. There's no way Selby's going to do that.
Yeah, he's played a good shot there, though. He's developed that little cluster that was in the middle of the table. He's still got the awkward one. He was just looking at, see if it went into the bottom left-hand corner pocket.
Yeah, I don't think it does go, Sean. It's
see, it's this red here. Will it go into that corner pocket? And say I don't think it will.
No, I'm in agreement with yourself, Sean. I don't think it goes.
30 seconds.
Yeah, as you can see there, it doesn't go, and I just can't see how he can break that ball out because he's having to clear reds out the way. And
you know, Lee, just to further underline Darren Appleton's misery, you know, you look at his record in this championship, and he's had heartbreaking losses. He's been to the quarterfinals 3 times prior, lost 9-8 in every single one of them. And then in the final in 2004, 11-9. I mean, those are gut-wrenching losses.
yeah, it's been a tough tournament for Darren Appleton, but you do know with Darren, you get value for money. You'll have to scrape him off this table. He'll keep fighting, even if it's not going for him.
You gotta love any player that leaves it all on the table, Lee.
30 seconds.
And he's just looking there with his cues, see if he can swing the cue ball around the angles and bump into it. But I think that'll be his next to last shot. So that's the only ball he can land on when he goes into him.
Yeah, it's the old saying there, not leaving all your eggs in one basket, leaving your bad ball to the end. And if he does that, that's when it can all go pear-shaped.
Yeah, but he's had no option because he played a couple of poor shots early on, and he's forced it to be that way. And this is a tough shot, and how it's been going so far for Darren, I just cannot see him just getting the right nudge, because he does need the right nudge to land on this. And I think he's looking at potting the red in the bottom right-hand corner, spinning the white off 2 rails, and just freeing the yellow off the top of the other yellow nearest the 8, nearest the red. So 2 rails,
30 seconds.
1, 2, and that's a brilliant shot.
Easily the best shot of the match for Darren Appleton. Will he use it and carry it on to the frames that are yet to come? The 8 down. Appleton trails only 5-3. He's going to have a shout in this final before the smoke clears. Frame number 9, the Dazzler, Darren Appleton. He's never won this title. Trailing Mark Selby 5-3. And in a lot of people's minds, one of the best players never to have won the world title. And no friends at the table.
You see, that's what I'm saying, Jim. He's having the balls re-racked over and over again, and he's still not making a ball. So why not maybe just once? Let's just stand up, let the ref do the job, and let's give him a go from there and see what happens. And fair enough, if they don't split and he doesn't make a ball, then go back to the referee and say no, keep going, keep going.
I can't disagree with you, Sean. What's he got to lose?
I think that's from a referee's eyes, though. He wants it nice and easy.
Well, I'm just wondering though, Lee, if he isn't breaking his own rhythm, you know, and just getting on with the game.
I just don't think he's got a rhythm at the moment, Jim. I think he's just trying to...
Well, he's not allowing himself to get into rhythm.
Yeah, he says a good point.
I mean, if you remember 2 or 3 years ago, Pat Holtz was trying a bit mind games, really, actually, with Jason Twist, where he was having the balls racked over and over again, and he wasn't making a ball. And it was nothing to do with the rack, it was just the way he was breaking. I'm convinced Jason Twist was totally the opposite as Mark Selby's doing here. He's just getting up, the referee's racked the balls, and he's just smashing them. And if he's making one, he's making one. He's not. I don't think he's even checked the pat once in this game.
Yeah, I just think different players get disturbed in different ways. I think Mark's a sort of player. He's just gonna go to the table and break them.
But I don't think you'd see a much different Mark Selby if he was knocking the balls in practice. I think you'd see the same sort of demeanor, the same look. And I mean, you know, I've said it many, many times in past commentary. You know, it's all about, you know, making it look like it means nothing when it means everything.
Yeah, and again, he's been in perfect position throughout this finish. And it's another one he's chalked up with a lot of ease. Never been in trouble with that cue ball.
And he's made this one look elementary. Almost like you could have passed the cue to someone on the street and they could have come in and cleared up. The 8 deposited. Selby will not be denied. 9 frames are in the books here in Blackpool, and it's a 6-3 advantage to the number 28 snooker player. Frame number 10, and Selby into the comfort zone. It's the ImproveYourPool.com World 8-Ball Championship. And a dry break. But even though he hasn't enjoyed any success off the break, he's not letting it disturb him.
Well, he's 6-3 up at the moment, so he's going to be feeling a little bit more relaxed because of the scoreline, where Darren is just trying to clutch at a few straws. So it's going to be reds the choice of the day, I think, for Darren here, just because you've got 3 yellows tied up and a bunch at the bottom left-hand corner.
You know, an astounding statistic. I mean, here we are in frame number 10, and I can tell you that Selby has broken 5 times. He's made a ball once, fouled once, and come up dry 3 times, and he's 6-3 in front. Would you believe it?
Well, if you said that before the match started, you would say that Darren Appleton would be leading this match by a long way. But Darren Appleton's stats can't be any better.
Actually, Lee, they are just slightly better.